Hi everybody, I want to give you some more information about Let's Get Moving and our plan. Specifically today, I'm going to just give you a little bit more around Truth Quest. And I'm going to talk about a few areas. Firstly, I want to respond to some of the questions that I've been receiving. I know some of you are already seriously considering taking part in Truth Quest, the first batch through, if you like. And I guess the first question to answer is what will it actually look like? What's going to happen in that first meeting? Well, of course, what a first meeting specifically looks like is kind of difficult to gauge in today's environment with ever-changing requirements and so on. So let's just avoid that sort of question and go, well, what would we talk about? How do we get started? What's it going to look like? Well, the first thing is that at that meeting, I'm going to share with you some of the things that we're going to be aiming for, what we're going to be studying, how you're going to develop. And then also I'm going to give you some teaching around that about how to approach passages of the Bible that you read, some understanding around how to ask questions that draw the truth out of the passages, so that you don't get caught up in just reading into them stuff that you've heard before, but you can actually look at the passage and read it clearly for what it is. So I'm going to give you some principles around that. There's a long word around that called hermeneutics, but you don't really need to know that. But also I'm going to talk to you, give you some training around why this is really important and how we can set our hearts ready to receive and get the word of God and the teachings that he wants us to have deep down inside of us. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time at that first meeting really just acclimatise into the idea, because you know it's an introductory meeting. I'll be teaching you a bit, teaching you some principles. We're going to be looking at some resources that will help you, how those resources work, how to use them in your research. And there'll be some book suggestions. Now, what you need to know is that there aren't any compulsory books. There's no compulsory reading. There's no program, but there's all sorts of stuff that you are going to want to use and going to want to draw on, and I'll be talking about all of that in that first session. So, who should come on Truth Quest? Well, I know there's quite a few of you who have already asked questions, showing you're interested. I guess the answer to that is that, firstly, somebody who should come on Truth Quest is somebody that's actually got a desire to teach others, who wants to get involved in that side of ministry. Not necessarily at the front of church, but in smaller groups or running specific things in the future where you want to get alongside people and disciple them and so on, and you want to really skill yourself up on that. I guess another thing that you should be looking for is whether you're actually gifted to do that. You know, we really want to be in our gifting. So if you think, well, never in a month of Sundays would I ever be able to teach, I just get all messed up and things, then maybe it's not for you. But if you think, well, actually that's sort of something that maybe I'm a bit nervous about, but I could see myself doing, I'd really like to do that, then Truth Quest should be for you. But also, I guess that the really big thing that you should ask yourself is that it is a commitment for 12 months. And you will be preparing stuff, you'll be doing your own research, you'll be getting stuff ready, you will actually be running through teaching, you'll be hearing what other people are teaching. So it does need a commitment from you, both for yourself and also to be consistent in being part of that group. So you've got to ask yourself, is that something that I want to commit to, and I know in myself that I'm that consistent person that would be needed to do that. So there's some of the thoughts around whether this is for you or not. But if you are that type of person, if you even think you might be partly that type of person, I'd really recommend this to you, because you will grow and you will develop your skills, and you are going to be such a blessing in the lives of others over the future years. So what's involved? What's involved in terms of reading and prep? Well, as I said, I'm going to cover that in the first session, but basically the idea is that you're going to do as much or as little as you need in order to be able to get confident in being able to teach the core foundational principles of our faith. And so it's just impossible for me to say how much you specifically will need to do. And it's going to vary from topic to topic. Some topics you're going to go, I specialised in that for the last 10 years. I've got 4 talks already prepared on that. And other ones, it'll take a bit more thought. And so there isn't anything. You will get out of this what you put into it. Little in, little out, much in, much out. And the more you put in, the more you're going to enjoy it. So finally, how like what are we going to do? What happens now? Well, as I said the first time I talked about this, and as I've mentioned in the Zooms that we've done, this is really geared up for a minimum of 4 people. Normally I would say a maximum 8, but given that we've got the rule of 6, I'm saying it's a minimum of 4, maximum of 6. Basically I need to know from you if you want to go ahead with this. The plan is to start this at the beginning of January. I did think about starting it and doing some before Christmas, but then I thought, well, actually what that would look like is that we'd have a session, say at the beginning of December, and the next one would be early January, and in the meantime Christmas came, and it kind of gets everything off to a very slow, jerky start. So I've actually decided that we'll start in January, and that means we'll finish early December next year, so we don't run into the Christmas again. So that's the idea. So for you, think about the things I've said. Think about whether this is something that you're excited about, you really want to take part in, and then you need to let me know. You need to let me know, because I'm expecting there to be more than 6, more than whatever. I know some of you have already indicated a desire to do this, so you're in the queue, you're up at the front of the queue right now, but I need to know if we've got too many for this one, then we're going to keep on running this. This isn't like a one-off, it's something that we're going to do each year. And so yeah, so let me know, and blessings to you.